It's human nature to dislike the people that are better than us. There's a girl at our rival school who dominates in all sports. She's super tall and honestly makes my life miserable. She foils my plays in basketball, and sometimes she actually hurts me. But I like her. She makes an effort to talk to me every time I see her, and she's super humble whenever I compliment her. I know that I'm not alone in my admiration for her. There's something about her that makes everyone like her instead of envying or even disliking her. She's confident, not arrogant. I believe that confidence is beneficial, but there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. First, let's talk about confidence. Self-confidence, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is a feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. One career website called Indeed describes confidence as a certain trust in yourself, not anything to do with others. It says that confident people accept criticism and are very driven towards their goals. Psychology Today mentions that confidence is something you can gain in and improve, and it gives action steps on how. It says that acknowledging your feelings, standing up for yourself, and keeping a limit on your self-criticism are all ways to improve your confidence. Arrogance, on the other hand, as defined by the Oxford Dictionary, is having a revealing and exaggerated sense of one's own importance or abilities. In Johnson et al.'s article, Acting Superior but Actually Inferior, Johnson and his colleagues define arrogance as a set of behaviors that communicate a person's exaggerated sense of superiority, which is often accomplished by disparaging others. In other words, arrogance is an exaggerated belief in oneself that is felt by criticizing others. The career website Indeed lists many differences between confidence and arrogance. It says that if you're confident, you feel self-assured, but if you're arrogant, you feel self-important. What I draw from this is that confidence is related only to yourself, but arrogance is related to others and your self-worth compared to them. A study by Kleitman et al. Identifies cognitive and metacognitive differences in competence and arrogance. They found that arrogant people feel competent, but it doesn't necessarily mean they are. Arrogant people overestimate their own abilities. The study concludes that some arrogant people are simply unaware of their own incompetence. From this, I've learned that arrogant people are similar to confident people, but they lack competence. Despite there being a thin line between confidence and arrogance, confidence is still a very important trait to possess. Marian Verwalt, a writer for The Conversation, draws research from the framework presented by Bandura in Psychological Review. The research shows that believing in oneself, or self-efficacy, and I quote, promotes your ability to take on challenges. If someone lacks self-efficacy, they'll be more likely to give up sooner. On the other hand, Kleitman et al. Study says that arrogance disrupts decision-making processes, affecting oneself and others, with possibly damaging outcomes, especially in high-stakes situations. In other words, arrogance could lead to poor decision-making, making it harder to take on challenges. Kleitman also found that arrogant people tend to be fixed or set in their mindsets, unwilling to change their minds even when they should. A review on self-confidence and how to improve it by Housam Eddie Ben Mazoud lists many differences to action steps to improve self-confidence. The first way is to practice gratitude. Mazoud says that practicing gratitude may lead to confidence by reminding you of what you have. Another way is to put yourself out there, like sitting in the front of the classroom. Mazoud says that sitting in the front of the classroom is important to building confidence because you put yourself and your learning first. He also says a good step is to fix your posture. Mazoud says that the way you carry yourself shows how you feel about yourself, including dressing well. As I previously mentioned, Psychology Today also mentions action steps, like standing up for yourself and limiting your negative self-talk. You may argue that being confident while being bad at something is lying, but no, you're not lying. Though confident people believe in themselves, they don't lie to themselves that they're better at something than they are. Confident people are self-aware. Instead of telling themselves they're good at something they aren't, they tell themselves that they have the ability to be. This is another reason why confidence is beneficial, because it enables you to never stop learning. This is what psychologist and author Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset in her book titled Mindset. The girl at our rival school is good at basketball. Though her talent is obvious, she doesn't try to amplify it or put others down for more praise. It's clear that her confidence comes from her abilities and a healthy belief in herself, not from comparison. If you relate to any arrogant traits listed in this talk, or want to build a healthy confidence, use the steps listed earlier, such as practicing gratitude, putting yourself out there by sitting in the front of the classroom, fixing your posture, and limiting your negative self-talk. I encourage you to use this advice to become a better version of yourself. Thank you.